Welcome to Prehab. Today we're going to be building the shoulders and also building the thoracic spine and the shoulder girdle. So we have quite a number of props here, which are all really recommended but not essential. I have 2 therapy balls. I also have a yoga strap, a yoga block, and then I have this large foam roller here, which is going to help with support while doing some lunges. So if you don't have a large foam roller, you could also use a wall or a chair. And we're going to get started today by standing and breathing. So what I'd like you to do is just stand with your feet outside shoulder width apart and bring your hands to your belly. We're just going to do some diaphragmatic breathing. We're trying to breathe into your belly as big as possible. And then when you exhale, just let the breath go and feel free to sigh. Okay? So go ahead and breathe in. Breathe into your belly as big as possible. And on the exhale, just let it go. Feel free to sigh. And we'll do that 2 more times. So big breath into your belly. And then exhale, just let it go. Feel free to sigh. And 1 more time. Big breath into your belly. And then exhale. Feel free to sigh as you let it go. Perfect. So next, what I'd like you to do is bring your hands to your lower ribs here. We're going to then exhale and have a slow exhale, during which I want you to coach these lower ribs to collapse in towards your spine so that your obliques and intercostal muscles get activated, okay? So again, we'll start with a big breath into your belly. So let's do that. Let's breathe in really big. Then hands on your lower ribs. Exhale, coach those lower ribs to collapse in towards your spine. Nice, long, slow breath out. Good, we'll do that a couple more times. So big breath into your belly. And then exhale, coaching those lower ribs to collapse in. Good, and 1 more time. Big breath into your belly. And then exhale, nice, long breath out. Coach those lower ribs to collapse in. Excellent. Good. So then let's add on another technique, all right? So again, we'll breathe into our belly. We'll try to have these lower ribs collapse in, but then I want you to imagine that you're zipping up a really tight jacket and that you have to suck in your belly as you zip up. That's going to activate your transverse abdominis and your pelvic floor, okay? So breathe into your belly first. Huge breath in. Then imagine you're zipping up a really tight jacket. You have to really pull that belly in as you zip up. Nice long exhale. Excellent. And hopefully you're feeling those inner core muscles activate. We'll do that 2 more times. So breathe into your belly first. And then imagine you're zipping up a really tight jacket. Pull in that belly as you zip up. Excellent. And then we'll just do it 1 more time. So again, breathe into your belly. And then imagine the jacket's really, really tight. You have to suck your belly in as you're zipping up. And excellent. Perfect. We're going to use that zipper breath technique in a lot of the exercises going forward. So I hope you just really got the feel of what that's like. Okay, right now, let's go ahead. Let's activate our lower body before we start focusing on the upper body. So I'd like you to look at your toes and just try to wave your toes up 1 at a time and then wave them down 1 at a time. So we'll start with the big toe working to your little toe, waving up and waving down 1 at a time. Now, as you're doing this exercise, it's really about your intentionality of moving each toe 1 by 1. It's okay if your toes don't cooperate. As long as you're trying to move them 1 by 1, you're doing the exercise and you're helping to restore dexterity to your toes, which then leads to more foot stability and ankle stability. Good. 1 more time in this direction. So big toe to little toe, waving up and down, and then we'll switch directions. We'll start with the little toe, we'll wave up, and then wave down. Trying to articulate 1 toe at a time, just doing the best that you can. And just trying to be very specific with your intention of moving 1 toe at a time. Good, let's do 1 more round here. Waving up, and then waving down. Perfect. From there, let's go ahead, let's focus on our ankles. So what I'd like you to do is try to roll to the outside edge of your foot, and then reverse, roll to the inside edge of your foot. Now, as you're going back and forth and making these transitions, I'd like you to go really slow. We're really just trying to create more motor control at the ankle joint as you work into inversion and eversion. Good, we'll do this a few more times, and if you could really exaggerate rolling in as far as possible and then rolling out as far as possible. Good. And this is one of these exercises that I recommend people do all throughout the day. You can easily do this as you're waiting for an elevator or you're waiting online at the grocery store. It's real simple, and it really helps to restore ankle stability. Perfect. So then let's go ahead and move up to the knee, and we're going to do some knee circles here. So I'd like you to bring your feet outside shoulder width and then slide your hands down to your knees. Start to draw a circle with your knee, and as you're doing this, you're going to notice that your foot rolls in and out. Good. I'd like you to exaggerate that foot roll to help make a bigger knee circle. And then also try to sit your hips down as low as possible, so you're creating more knee flexion. Good. Let's go in the other direction now. And again, try to make the knee circle as big as possible, and also trying to do these knee circles in a controlled manner. Good. Just explore, see how big you can go. Let's do one more. Excellent. Good. So then let's bring our feet together. We'll continue with knee circles, but we're going to ask the feet to do something different. I want you to try to keep your feet flat on the floor. So imagine that the four corners of your foot are tattooed into the ground. And then start to circle your knee. This is going to help make your ankle develop more stability and also deepen its dorsiflexion. Good. So if you can, watch your feet and try to keep your feet as still as possible as you are trying to make the biggest circle that you can with your knees. Good, let's change direction, let's go the other way. Again, watching your feet, trying to keep your feet as still as possible, as you then try to make the biggest circle possible with your knee. And if you can, try to sit those hips down a little bit more. Let's do two more. Excellent. Last one here, keep it nice, slow, and controlled. Perfect. Okay, so then we're going to focus on the hips. We're going to make some hip circles here, but before we start circling the hips, we're going to map out the circle. So what I'd like you to do is just take your hips, slide your hips backwards as far as you can, like you're taking a bow, and then come back to standing. And then do the opposite. Slide your hips forward as far as possible, like you're leaning backwards. Good. Let's do that a couple more times. Hips sliding back, and then return to standing, and then hips sliding forward. Good. One more time. Try to exhale as you slide the hips back. Inhale as you stand up, and then exhale as you slide the hips forward. And back to center. Good. So then let's take the hips from side to side. And again, try to go as far as you can on each side. And then also think about exhaling as you're sliding your hips out to the side. So exhale, and then inhale back to standing. Exhale, inhale back to standing. Perfect. So now that we've mapped out that circle, let's take the hips through that circle. Let's bring the hips forward, then slide the hips out to the side, then reach your hips back. Then slide your hips out to the other side and bring your hips forward. Perfect. And then let's change direction once we've come back to that starting position. So circling back the other way. Excellent. Good. So now, second round, if you could really try to feel your ground, feel your feet are connected to the ground and press all 10 toes into the floor, we're going to keep the whole lower body working as one unit. So circling the hips, but feeling the ground, pressing all 10 toes into the floor as you're circling the hips. Excellent. And then take it back the other way. Trying to be slow and smooth with your movement. And also trying to work your breath in to see if that helps you to go a little bit further. And let's see if we can go a little bit bigger this time around. So last time around, just ask for a little bit more range of motion all the way around the circle. Excellent. And see if these zipper breaths help you to get a little bit bigger. Excellent. Okay, so now that we've warmed up our lower body, our lower body will always be a good base as we start focusing on the upper body. We're going to start with the shoulder girdle here. We're simply just going to do some shrugs up and then down. Good. So go ahead, bring the shoulders up towards your ears, really try to squeeze them up, and then reach your fingers for the ground and really shrug your shoulders down. Let's do that 2 more times. Shrugging up and then shrugging down. Good. 1 more time. Shrugging up and then shrugging down. Perfect. So then let's go ahead, let's protract the shoulders forward. So you're going to thrust the shoulders forward and then pull the shoulders back. Perfect. Let's try that again. Thrusting the shoulders forward. Now as you pull them back, think about squeezing your shoulder blades together. Good. 1 more time. Shoulders coming forward and then shoulders coming back. Perfect. So then we'll connect those 4 positions and we'll circle around. What I'd like you to do is take your hands and press your hands into your thighs here, like so. And then slowly start to circle your shoulders like so. Good. You want to try to keep your rib cage and your head nice and still. And just see how big of a circle you can make with these shoulders. So how high can you pull the shoulders up towards your ears? How far back can you pull the shoulders? How far down can you reach with those fingers? Okay, 1 more time in this direction. Nice, big, slow circles. Good, and then reverse. Let's go in the other direction. Good, and if you're feeling some clicking going on in your shoulders as you're doing that, that's okay, that's natural. Just try to go a little bit slower through any area where it's clicking. Give your muscles an opportunity to learn how to coordinate and move those bones without making the clicks. Excellent. Good, so we're going to continue with these shoulder rolls, but we're going to take our hands, we're going to place them in different positions, and that's just going to change the movement demands of these shoulder rolls. So slide your hands up your back like so, and then once you're here, slowly circle your shoulders again. Okay, take your time with this. And again, if you feel clicking going on as you're doing these shoulder rolls, just go slower. You want to give your muscles the opportunity to learn how to move those bones without having them cause that clicking, which is basically the bones jamming into one another. And that's just usually because of a lack of motor control of having different positions with our shoulders. Let's reverse, let's go the other direction. And we lose our ability to have really good motor control of our shoulders because we tend to spend too much time in only a few positions. So our body learns to hold a few positions really, really well, and it kind of forgets other positions. 1 more time here. Excellent, good. So then we're going to take the hands, we're going to bring the hands behind your head, like so. But before we do that, what I'd like you to do is just go ahead, push your head out like you're trying to read something, and then pull your head back like you can't believe what you just read. Okay, let's try that again. Head goes out, and then pull the head back. When you pull your head back, that's retraction, and I want you to try to keep your head there, and then bring the hands behind your head like so. Good, now circle those shoulders, right? When I do this version of the exercise, I really try to focus on circling my armpits. So I'm trying to bring my armpits forward, up, back, and down. Trying to do the best that I can here. Good, let's go in the other direction. And again, if you feel a lot of clicking going on, just go a little bit slower. In fact, I recommend doing this exercise quite a bit if you spend a lot of time working on a computer. So just once an hour, maybe just sit back, place your hands behind your head, roll your shoulders around a couple of times each direction, and breathe. Excellent. Okay. So then from there, we're going to now focus on moving the arms to get into the shoulder capsule as well as working the shoulder girdle. So what I'd like you to do is open up your arms, and then we're going to cross your arms, scissor your arms in front of you and reach for either side of the room. As you're doing this, you want to make sure that your shoulders stay down. Don't let your shoulders creep up, all right? So shoulders down, then scissor your arms. Good, and really squeeze the arms in for 1 full second here. Good, now open up your arms, reach back as far as you can, 1 full second here. Good, let's scissor your arms again, put the other arm on top, scissor across, squeeze tight for 1 full second. Good, and then open up, reaching back as far as you can. Good. Now real quick, if you want to get a little bit more out of these shoulder exercises right now, you can grab the therapy balls and you could start to squeeze as you do these shoulder exercises. Okay? We're going to do a couple more of these here. So we're going to go ahead and scissor your arms, squeeze tight for 1 full second, then open up, reaching behind you. Keep reaching back for 1 full second. Good. Now let's go ahead, scissor again. Put the other arm on top, squeeze, reach across 1 full second, and then go ahead, open up and reach back. Perfect. Okay, so then let's go ahead and take the arms and we're going to reach backwards, right? So when we reach back like this shoulder may have the tendency to pop forward. So I want you to pull the shoulder back first, then reach the hand back as far as you can and keep reaching back for 1 full second. And then relax. Good. Then reach forward, up and back the best you can. Keep reaching backwards for 1 full second. Good. Let's try that again. Shoulders back, hand goes back, reach back as far as you can, 1 full second. Perfect. And then shoulders, arms forward, up and back. Keep reaching back for 1 full second. Good. Let's do it one more time. Shoulders back first, hands back second. Keep reaching backwards for 1 full second. And then hands come forward, up and back. Keep reaching back for 1 full second. Perfect. So after all that, we're going to try to now work through an arc here like this. And as we are working through this arc, I'd like you to twist your arms the best that you can in each direction. So let's start with your arms right by your side. Pull your shoulders back and then slide your hands back as far as you can. Good. Now once you're here, twist your arms in one direction. Keep twisting in that direction for 1 full second. Perfect. Now twist the other way and keep twisting in that direction for 1 full second. And then relax. Perfect. So then slide your hands out to a diagonal and reach back as far as you can. Good. Now twist as far as you can in one direction. Keep twisting that direction for 1 full second. Feel free to squeeze those balls if you'd like to get a little bit more. And then reverse. Twist the other way. Keep twisting that way for 1 full second. And relax. Good. So then bring your arms horizontal to the ground, reaching back. And now twist your arms as far as you can. Squeezing the balls if you'd like. And then reverse, twist the other way for 1 full second. And relax. Good. So then let's find a diagonal up on top, reaching back. Good. And then again, twist your arms as far as you can in one direction. Good. And then reverse, twist as far as you can in the other direction. Squeezing the balls if you want to get a little bit more out of this exercise. And down. Good. One more time. Let's take the arms up and back like you're saying touchdown. Good. Twist your arms as far as you can in one direction. Feel free to squeeze the balls if you want to get a little bit more out of this exercise. And then twist in the other direction, 1 full second. And relax. Excellent. Good. So then from here, what we're going to do nice big circles, right? Slow and smooth. So let's go ahead, let's get your torso in a really good position here. So I want you to turn your belt buckle up. Get your abs engaged here so that your spine stays still. Good. Then let's take your arms, let's scissor your arms across, and then reach up and back. And then twist those arms as you're reaching backwards. So I'm turning the palms out to the side And I'm still twisting my arms. I'm going to bring the backs of my hands to my back pockets like so. Good. And then to bring it back, I'm going to pull the shoulders back first, slide the hands back as far as I can. Then I'm going to twist my palms out to the side, and then slowly reaching up towards the ceiling. And then I'll scissor my arms across my chest and down. Good. Let's do that a couple more times. If you want to get a lot more of this exercise, you can squeeze the balls anywhere up to 100% of your strength, and that's just going to create more muscle activation. Okay? So here we go. We're working across your body, and then up and back. Then turn your palms out to the side as you slowly reach for the wall behind you, and keep twisting your arms until the backs of your hands come to your back pocket. Good. Now keep your shoulders down, pull your shoulders back, then slide your hands back. Good. Now let's turn your palms out to the side again, and then slowly reach up towards the ceiling. And then we'll scissor the arms and bring them back down. Good. Let's try it one more time here. Let's scissor those arms, come up as high as you can, and try to reach backwards. Good. Then we're going to turn those palms out to the side. Go nice and slowly, and keep twisting those arms and bring the backs of your hands right to your back pockets. Perfect. Then we'll bring it back. We'll squeeze your shoulder blades together first, slide your hands backwards, turn your palms out to the side, slowly reaching those arms up towards the ceiling, and then scissor your arms and coming on down. Perfect. Let's go ahead and place those balls down on the ground. And let's pick up your yoga strap if you have one. If you don't have a yoga strap, you can use a large towel. If you don't have either, you can just simply reach the hand down to the ground and try to anchor the shoulder down with your muscles. So what we're going to do here is we're going to stand on the strap in order to anchor one shoulder down. So I'm going to reach down as far as I can. I'm going to get tall through my spine. I'm holding on with this hand, and that's going to keep my shoulder down. We're going to do a static stretch here for the side of your neck, right? So what I'd like you to do is get really tall through your spine, okay? So imagine that the top of your head's trying to touch the ceiling, and then keep reaching your head up, and then slowly bring the top of your head off to the side. You want to keep the side that's bending as long as possible, so you don't want to collapse the ear towards the shoulder. You want the top of the head going up and away towards the wall. Then take that hand and just place it on top here. Good. So remember that zipper breath technique. We're going to do 5 zipper breath techniques, and that's going to make us hold this static stretch for about 20 seconds, okay? So take a deep breath into your belly. Nice long breath out. Good. And as you're exhaling, you should notice that you might be able to get a little bit more range of motion here, that these muscles might release a little bit more. If that's not happening, that's okay. Just go ahead and just hold the position and breathe. Good, 2 more times. Remember, the top of the head's reaching out and away. So we're not collapsing down, reaching out and away. Good, 1 more time here. Big breath in and exhale. Then slowly let go, and we'll switch sides, okay? So we'll just go ahead and switch your arms. We'll use the strap to anchor the other shoulder down. We'll get tall through our spine, and then we'll take the top of the head up and over towards the other wall before placing the hand on top. Good, then we'll do our 5 breaths here. So again, big breath into your belly. Nice long breath out. Hopefully you feel release going on here. If you don't, that's okay. Just continue with your breathing. Big breath in, long breath out. Good. Again, top of the head's reaching over towards the wall, up and away, not collapsing down. 2 more breaths. Last one here. Excellent. Great. So then what we're going to do, we're going to keep the strap on this side, but I want you to have enough slack that you could take your other hand and reach around and hold it behind. So we're anchoring this shoulder down, but we're crisscrossing behind our backs. Okay, so then what we're going to do is we're going to get tall through our spine. We're going to take your nose over towards one wall, and then take your nose into your armpit like you were trying to see if your deodorant's working today. Once you're there, take the other hand, just hold it on top. Okay, so we're going to now do the same breathing technique here for 5 breaths and hold this position as a static stretch. So big breath into your belly here. And then nice long exhale out, seeing if you could bring your nose a little bit closer towards your armpit. Again, breathe into your belly. Nice long big breath out. Good. 3 more times, breathe, please. Big breath in. Exhale out. Good. And if you could pack the other shoulder down. So think about squeezing the armpit down towards the pocket of the arm that's holding the strap, and see if that intensifies your stretch a little bit more as we do our final breath here. Big breath in. Big breath out. Excellent. Then slowly come on out of that. And we'll switch sides. So again, we're going to step on the strap. We're going to bring that strap behind our body. And we're going to anchor that shoulder down. We want this armpit to try to come down to that pocket. Then we'll take the nose over towards this wall before we take the nose into our armpit and place our hand on top. And then once you're here, just go ahead and start to breathe. So big breath in, big breath out. On your exhale, you just want to see if your nose can get a little bit deeper into your armpits. Okay? Again, big breath in, big breath out. Nice long exhale. 3 more times. Seeing if your nose can come a little bit closer towards your armpit. Good. 2 more breaths, please. Last one here. Excellent. And then we'll slowly come on out of that. And then we'll just place that strap down. We'll come back to that strap in just a little bit. We're going to do some joint articulations for your neck right now. So what I'd like you to do is reach your hands down and use your muscles here to try to pull your armpits towards your pocket. We're going to take your top of your head from side to side in these lateral tilts. So again, it's the top of the head working up and over towards the wall, as opposed to collapsing the ear down towards your shoulders. Okay? So go ahead, get tall through your spine, and then start to reach the head up and over to the side, and then come back to center. And then to the other side. Again, top of the head going up, then over, and then coming back to the side. Good. Second round, really focus on reaching your hands down to the ground so these muscles are active, okay? And then top of the head up and over. Remember, arms are active here, and then back to center. And then the other side. Reaching down as you bring the top of the head up and over. Good. 1 more time. Try to now connect with that big breath out to see if you could go a little bit further. So reaching down, breathing out, top of the head up and over, back to center, and then top of the head up and over to the other side. Excellent. Good. So then I want you to bring your hands here to your shoulders. Make sure your shoulders stay nice and still. We're going to do what we were doing a little bit before of protracting the head and retracting the head. So imagine you're trying to read something that's out in front of you. Push your head out, try to read it, and now pull your head back like you can't believe what you just read. Okay? So again, push your head out, protraction, and then retraction. Good. 1 more time. Protraction and retraction. Excellent. Good. So then we're going to keep your shoulders here and we're going to rotate your neck. So the nose is going to go to your right as far as you can without moving your shoulders. And then come back to center. And then nose to the left as far as you can without moving your shoulders. Good. So let's do that again and stay tall through the spine. So top of the head going up toward the ceiling as you're rotating. And then back to center. And then the other side. Same thing, top of the head going towards the ceiling as you rotate. Good. One more time each side. Let's connect with that breath. See if we could rotate a little bit further. Good. And then the other side. Perfect. Now what I'd like you to do is grab that yoga strap. Okay. And what we're going to do, we're going to try to now anchor your shoulders down as we do some neck circles. Okay. So we want to really try to squeeze those armpits down and then walk your hands down the strap as far as you can. I want you to hold on really, really tight because we want to use this strap here to keep your shoulders from moving. And if you don't have a strap, then you just need to use these muscles and reach your hands down towards the floor the entire time. So we're going to focus on the tip of your nose. We're going to draw a nice big circle at the tip of your nose. So let's bring the nose down towards your heart. Then slowly bring the nose over to one shoulder. Then slowly bring that nose up towards the ceiling. And then over towards the other shoulder. And then slowly back down towards your heart. Good. And then once you're there, let's change direction. Let's go back to the shoulder you just came from. And then slowly lift that nose up towards the ceiling. And then over towards the other side. And back down. Good. So now let's try it again. What I'd like you to do is focus on just trying to be smooth here. Okay? So nose towards your heart, and now smoothly take your nose over to one shoulder. And then smoothly lift that nose up towards the ceiling. Try to connect to your breathing, and hopefully that will help make the motion of your neck even smoother. And then we'll slowly bring the nose back to your heart. We'll change direction, and we'll reverse the circle. So going back to the shoulder we just came from, then slowly lifting that nose up towards the ceiling, and then taking the nose over towards the other side. And back down. Good. So now what I'd like you to do is really try to walk your hands down that strap a little bit more so that we're going to try to maximize our range of motion. If you don't have a strap, just keep those arms really active and reach your fingers towards the floor. Okay. So last time here, just asking for a little bit more, but not forcing anything. So we want to move our neck and we want to move with our breath too. We want to be on that borderline of feeling how we're creating stretch through our muscles, but we're not working against ourselves. Good. Once your nose comes back to center, then reverse and go back the other way. Again, try and keep your shoulders working down towards the floor as you are then circling your nose around. Excellent. Okay, great. So after all that, we'll put that yoga strap off to the side, and this is where I'd like you to pick up that yoga block. We're going to get into articulating your thoracic spine here. What I'd like you to do is take the yoga block, and if you don't have a yoga block, you use a small pillow, and if you don't have a small pillow, and then just cross your arms here. We're going to hold that yoga block in towards your heart here, and then we're going to find your belt buckle. We're going to lift that belt buckle up, so we're trying to keep your pelvis still as we then articulate your spine. And all we're going to simply do is try to fold forward and try to place your heart on top of that yoga block. And then we're going to reverse, try to lift that yoga block up over your heart the best that you can. Good, let's try that again. Fold forward, heart on top of that yoga block. And then reverse, lift that yoga block up the best that you can. Good, one more time here. Folding forward, exhale as you do so. You're trying to get your heart on top of the yoga block. And then reversing, lifting that yoga block up over your heart. And back to center. Good, so then let's bring our feet nice and wide. With wide feet, we're trying to keep our hips still because we're going to twist our spine here. We're going to take the yoga block, we're going to rotate it to the side, but we don't want the hips to move. So focus on moving the yoga block, not the hips. And then come back to center. And then same thing to the other side. Try to bring the yoga block to the side as far as you can, and then back to center. Good. Now let's do it with our breath out. So as you're rotating, exhale. Think about that zipper breath technique and see if that takes you a little bit further. And back to center. And then the same thing on the other side. Exhale, twisting a little bit further. Back to center. Good. One more time each way. So go ahead, exhale and rotate. And back to center. And then the other side, exhale, rotate. And back to center. Good. So now let's combine those two movements and try to circle the yoga block through those 4 different positions, right? So we're going to start by folding forward, heart on top of the yoga block. Then take the yoga block to the right as far as possible. Then lift the yoga block up over your heart. And then take the yoga block over to your left as far as possible. Before returning to that starting position, heart on top of the yoga block. Once you're there, change direction. Go back in the same direction you just came from. So going to the left, then lifting up over your heart, and then going over to your right. And then coming back down the center. Good. So let's do it again. Let's connect with our breath and see if we can make the circle a little bit bigger. So taking the yoga block to the right, then slowly lifting that yoga block up over your heart, and then taking the yoga block over to the left, and then coming back down through center. Once we're at that starting position, we'll change direction. We'll go back to in that same direction that we just came from. Try to make it a little bit bigger as we're working all the way around. Over to the other side. And down. Good. One more time. Now, I'll give you an option here. You can really hug that yoga block so you're activating all of these muscles, right? And that's just going to lead to better articulation, right? And also helps to develop a little more strength and resiliency through the muscles that we're working right now. So again, we'll start in that forward fold position, heart on top of the yoga block. Take the yoga block over to your right. Then slowly lift that yoga block up over your heart. And then over to your left. And then folding down and coming back to that starting position. We'll change direction. We'll go back to our left. Then slowly coming up over our heart. And then over to the other side. And back down. Excellent, good. We'll place that yoga block down. And this is where I like you to grab your large foam roller or your chair or set yourself up by the wall. We're going to do some lateral lunges here. And we're just trying to get into your hips and your legs, right? Activate these muscles as we're going to then be working in a kneeling position coming up. So bring your feet nice and wide, have your toes pointing forward. Use that object for as much support as you want. And we're just going to lunge to one side. Get as deep as you can, hold it there for 1 full second, and then come on up. Good, and then lunge to the other side. Come down as deep as you can, hold it there for 1 full second, and then come on back up. Excellent, good. So now, we're gonna lunge, we're gonna take the opposite arm, reach across, so that we're gonna actually be activating or articulating through the thoracic spine as we're doing a lunge. So lunge to the side and take the opposite arm, reach across as far as you can, and then come back up. And then same thing the other side. Lunge and reach across as far as you can, and then come back up. Good, let's now hold it for 1 full second at the end position. So lunge and reach, hold right there, keep reaching those fingers across for 1 full second, and then come on back up. And then the other side, lunge and reach. Keep reaching across, hold it there for 1 full second, and come on back up. Good, one more time each side. So lunge and reach, get as far as you can. Keep reaching that way for 1 full second, and then come back up. And then the other side, lunge and reach as far as you can. Keep reaching this way for 1 full second, and then come on back up. Excellent, good. From here, let's come on down to the floor in a kneeling position. And this is where you may want to grab a ball. So what we're going to do, we're going to go back to some articulations of your shoulder here, but we're going to add in some blocking and activation of the opposite arm. So I have my right knee up, right? And my feet are really rooted into the ground. My legs are active here. I have a strong base of support. I'm going to take my left hand, I'm going to hold onto the outside of my right knee. Good. Then I'm going to hold the ball with my right arm. And I'm going to draw a nice big circle, like so. And once my hand comes to my back pocket, then I'm going to reverse the circle. Just like so. Excellent. Good. So now what I'd like you to do is use this arm to press into this knee. You're literally trying to move your knee this way. That's going to activate this arm. And then you want to use this hip to keep your knee still. So you're working against yourself here as we're circling with our arm. Okay? The other thing that we're going to do is we're going to reach forward as far as possible, then reach up. Good. Then turn your palm out to the side. Reach backwards for the wall behind you. Keep the other arm active, please. Keep twisting your arm and bring the hand to your back pocket like so. Good. Now reach for the floor first, then reach back, and then reach up, and then reach as far forward as possible. Good. We're going to do that 2 more times. What's really important is that you're reaching your arm out and trying to make the biggest circle. So your knuckles are reaching away from your shoulders the entire time. And you want to have as much muscle activation through your whole torso as possible. If you want to get more out of this exercise, squeeze the ball. You can squeeze all the way to up to 100% of your strength, okay? So here we go. Let's go ahead and reach forward as far as you can. Then reach up. Good. Then start to reach behind you. Again, knuckles working away from your shoulder. And I want you to just keep twisting your arm and try to bring the back of your hand to touch your back pocket here. Good. Now reach down to the floor. Reach back as far as you can. And then reaching up towards the ceiling. And then reaching forward like so. Good. One more time. If you want a little bit more, you can find a deeper lunge position, and that's going to keep it harder to twist through your thoracic spine here. Okay? So here we go. We're reaching forward as far as possible, then reaching up, then reaching back. Again, knuckles working away from your shoulders the entire time, and bringing your hand to your back pocket. Good. Then reversing. Reach the knuckles away from your shoulder as you're reaching back. Slowly coming up, reaching forward and down. Excellent. Good. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side. Okay. So we'll just start in this 90-90 position here. Hand on the outside of your knee. Okay. And let's go ahead and just draw our first circle without any muscle activation. So just go ahead and reach forward, reach up, reaching back, reaching the knuckles away from your shoulder the entire time. Good. And then reversing, going back the other direction. Excellent. Good. So then let's go ahead, add muscle activation if you like. So you could go ahead and start squeezing the ball. Reach as far forward as you can. Keep the opposite arm active, working against your knee. Reaching up towards the ceiling. And then reaching for that wall behind you the best that you can. And then slowly bring your hand to your back pocket. Good. And then reach for the floor. Then reach for the wall behind you. Then slowly reach up for the ceiling. And then reaching as far forward as possible. Good. One more time. So if you want to squeeze a little bit harder, feel free. Here we go. Reaching forward, forward, forward. Really reach the knuckles away from your shoulders. Then get as tall as possible, knuckles towards the ceiling. And then knuckles towards that back wall behind you as you slowly bring your hand back towards your pocket. Good. Then reach for the ground with your knuckles. Then reach backwards as we bring it back. And then up towards the ceiling. Reaching forward and down. Excellent. Good. We'll place that ball down. And what I'd like you to do is grab your yoga block. Okay, if you don't have a yoga block, you can still do this exercise without the yoga block, but having the yoga block just makes it much easier to do. So I'm on my hands and knees here, and I have one hand on the yoga block, one hand on the ground. We're going to be working the arm that's on the yoga block here. So we're going to keep the elbows nice and strong. I'm going to try to press into the yoga block here to lift my opposite hand off the ground just like so. Another way to think about it is that you're trying to drive your armpit down into that yoga block, and that creates protraction of your shoulder and rotation of your spine. So we're going to do a few reps here. You're pressing down to lift the opposite hand up, and then come back down. Again, get nice and strong. Really try to drive the armpit towards that yoga block to lift the other arm up. Good. Check in with your elbows right now. Make sure your elbows stay nice and straight as you're doing the exercise. Okay, 2 more times here. Press down to lift that hand up. Good, and 1 more time. Excellent. Good, so then what I'd like you to do is switch sides. We'll do the same thing on the other side, okay? Again, pressing into the yoga block, armpit working down to the yoga block to lift the other hand up. And then come back down. Good, let's do that again. Pressing down. Good, 3 more times. Check in with those elbows, try to keep them nice and straight. They have a tendency to want to bend here. We want the muscle activation to come from the rib cage muscles, not from the triceps. 2 more. Good, last one here. Excellent, good. So then we'll place that yoga block off to the side. What I'd like you to do is pick up your ball if you have it, and we're going to go back to twisting the arms like what we were doing before. So if you remember, we were doing these arcs and we were twisting your arms. We're just going to do it here. We're going to work against gravity in a different direction. So we're going to work one arm at a time. So I'm going to take my right arm, I'm going to bring it back here, I'm going to pull my shoulder away from the ground and lift my hand up as far as possible. Once I'm here, I'll twist my arm in one direction as far as I can. And then I'll twist my arm in the other direction as far as I can. Good. Then I'll slide my arm out to the side to a diagonal. And I'll do it again. I'll twist as far as I can in one direction. And then I'll twist as far as I can in the other direction. Good. Then I'll bring my arm straight out to the side like an airplane wing. Lift the hand up. Twist as far as I can. And then twist as far as I can the other way. Good. Then I'll find another diagonal position. Lift the hand up, twist the arm, and then twist in the other direction. And then I'll reach straight up overhead towards the horizon, and I'll try to twist my arm as far as I can in one direction, and then twist as far as I can in the other direction. Excellent. And then I'll switch sides, and I'll do the same thing on the other side. Okay? So again, I'll start the hand right by my pocket, lift the shoulder away from the ground, lift the hand up as high as possible. Then I'll twist as far as I can in one direction, and twist as far as I can in the other direction. Then I'll slide my hand out to the side to a diagonal, and I'll twist my arm as far as I can, and then twist as far as I can the other way. Good. Then arm out to the side, airplane wing, lift the hand up, and twist as far as you can in one direction. And then reverse twist as far as you can in the other direction. Good. Then reaching forward, find another diagonal, lift the arm up, twist as far as you can in one direction, and then twist as far as you can in the other direction. Good. And then finally reach up overhead, lift the hand up, and then go ahead, twist as far as you can in one direction, and then twist as far as you can in the other direction. Excellent. And then we'll place that yoga block down. Yoga ball down, therapy ball down. And then we're going to do a little bit of an integration exercise here. So we're going to get a little bit of the groin into the thoracic spine, into the shoulders. So from your quadruped position, just take one leg out to the side and form a kickstand like on a bicycle. Then we're just going to rock the hips backwards as far as possible. And then we're going to slowly rock the hips forward. You may have to walk your hands forward. Good. And then we'll go ahead, we'll rock back as far as possible. And then we're going to rock forward. Good. One more time here, rocking back, and then rocking forward. Perfect. Then come back to that starting position. And remember how we were pressing down into the ground, right? Armpit towards the yoga block. So this bottom arm has to be very active as we take this top arm and we're going to reach under as far as possible. And then pull it out and reach up and back as far as possible. Good. Keep the bottom arm very active. So press into the ground with that bottom hand as you reach under. And then as you reach up and back. Good. One more time. Reaching under. And then reach up and back. Perfect. Now let's switch our arms. Real quick, make sure that this shoulder stays away from your ear. So press the armpit into the ground, right? And keep that shoulder away from your ear. Then reach under and reach up and back. Good. And it's really important that you keep that bottom arm really active, pressing the armpit into the floor, and try to keep that bottom shoulder away from your ear as you're reaching. If you spend a lot of time on a computer, that shoulder will want to creep up towards your ear, and we need to consciously change it and try to get it strong so that it can stay away from your ear. Excellent. So now let's go ahead, let's do the same routine on the other side. So again, we'll start in that quadruped position, hands and knees, slide the foot out to the side, find your kickstand, then we'll rock the hips back, and then we'll rock the hips forward. Nice smooth movements here. Just give them the opportunity to open up those groin muscles, open up your hip socket. Rocking back and rocking forward. Okay, one more time in each direction. Excellent. So then let's go ahead, let's work our shoulders here, okay? So remember, you're going to press one arm into the ground, right? You're going to keep that bottom shoulder away from your ear as you reach underneath you as far as you can. And then up and back. So keep that bottom arm very active. This exercise is to try to get that bottom arm strong in all these different positions here. So reaching under as far as you can, and then reaching up and back. One more time. Try to keep that bottom shoulder away from your ear. Press that armpit into the floor. Excellent. And then let's switch our arms. Again, shoulder stays away from your ear. You're pressing your armpit down into the floor, and then you're going to reach under, and then pull it out and back. Two more times. Good, nice smooth movements here. Excellent. Good, from here what I'd like you to do is come down onto the floor with your hips. We're gonna find oblique sit. So that's when you're on one elbow and you're on your hip. So it's kind of like a modified side plank. And then I want you to find your lower ribs here and lift your lower ribs up away from the ground, right? So that you're activating these oblique muscles here. Pack this shoulder down away from your ear. So think about squeezing your armpit towards your pocket. Good. Once you're here with a packed shoulder, we're going to take this top arm, we're going to continue with the reaches. So we're going to reach under as far as possible, then reach up and back as far as possible. Again, we're reaching with the top arm, but we're really training the bottom arm here. So really keep pulling that armpit towards your pocket. Keep lifting your lower ribs away from the floor so those oblique muscles are engaged. And then reach as far as you can with your hand. One more time here. Reaching under. Reaching up and back. Excellent. And then we'll switch sides. We'll do the same exact thing on the other side. Okay, so elbows right underneath that shoulder. Hips are on the ground. Lift those lower ribs up. Think about squeezing the armpit towards that pocket to help engage those oblique muscles. And then go ahead, start to reach under. And then reach up and back. Good, you gotta reach under. And reach up and back. One more time here. And up and back. Excellent. Okay, so 2 more movements here. We're going to come on down to the floor. What I'd like you to do is, if you have a yoga block, keep it nearby. We're going to do some rotation here through your spine, right? And we're going to go ahead and see if we could touch your toes here, okay? If you could bring the bottom leg straight on the ground, that's great. Alternatively, you could bend your knee like that. What we're simply going to do is we're trying to rotate through our thoracic spine here, use our oblique muscles, and try to touch our toe the best that we can. Now, if you can touch your toes, what I'd like you to do is go further. Reach across your leg to the outside and just keep rotating and reaching as far as you can. Okay, we're just going to do this 5 times. So you should feel how these oblique muscles are engaging. And that's also pulling your armpit towards your knee here, just like so. Okay? These are muscles that we don't use while we sit a lot. So if you spend a lot of time working at a desk and driving, these oblique muscles and intercostal muscles are not being active. So this movement right here is a simple way to activate them. Good. Last time here, let's come on up and let's hold it. So get as far as you can. Think about armpit towards that knee, fingertips out and beyond your toes the best you can. Hold it here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. Excellent. And then let's switch sides. So again, you can have your knee bent if you'd like. If you can bring it straight, then go ahead, bring it straight. Once you're in position, slowly rotate and reach for those toes, and then come on back down. Good. If you can reach for those toes, then go beyond those toes. So across and further. And think about how your armpit's trying to come towards that knee that's up in the air. Good. 2 more times. Can you exhale out? Nice long zipper breath as you're reaching. See if that helps. Good. Now this time we're going to come up and hold. And the reason that we're holding is that we want to just spend more time making these muscles more active, right? And that's going to help keep them more active all throughout the week as we sit at our desks and do our work for the 40 hours or more each week. Okay, let's hold for another 3, 2, 1, and down. Excellent, good. So to counterbalance that forward rotation, we're going to now do some rotation where we're loading the back of our spine. So what I'd like you to do is bring your knees up in the air and hold your yoga block together. Real quick, as a modification, you can have your feet on the ground and do this exercise, and that will still help activate your upper back, okay? So arms are out to the side. You're simply just going to bring your knees over to the side as far as you can. You're going to feel how your upper back muscles have to work to control the movement, and then bring your knees back. So we're pressing our hands into the floor here as we're rotating our knees over to the side, back and forth. Now real quick, I want you to pull those armpits towards your pocket so you're getting your shoulders away from your ears, okay? And then you're using those oblique muscles on each side here to control the movement. You're also using those upper back muscles to press the arms down into the ground, and that keeps you nice and keeps you in control of the movements here. The arms are key, okay? So press those hands into the floor as you take the knees from side to side, nice and slowly. Good. Now if you can also breathe out, nice zipper breath as you're rotating. See how that changes how you create, how you're doing these reps, doing the exercise. So zipper breath as you rotate, and then inhale back to center. Okay, last one on each side, okay? Strong arms, hands pressing into the floor, zipper breath, rotating. Controlling how those legs move through space. And then same thing to the other side. Controlling those legs, moving through space, using those arms and those obliques. Excellent. And then after all that, just go ahead, bring your feet down to the ground, and we'll end our little routine with some diaphragmatic breathing. So we're going to go back to that big belly breath in, and then we're just going to sigh out and let the breath go. So here we go, big breath into your belly. And then exhale, let it go. Feel free to sigh. Good, 2 more times. Big breath into your belly. And then exhale, let it go. And then 1 more time. Big breath into your belly. And exhale, let it go. Okay, and that was building the shoulders and the thoracic spine today. Thanks for joining me, guys.